Fuel on. Tickle the carburettor float till it laughs and wets itself. Full choke. Reduce spark advance by about 1/4 and kick. The 500 Panther doesn't bite like the 600s and 650s, but even the little ones can give you a nasty nip. First kick gets a bang, a couple of rotations and a spit back. Second kick and we're running. Cut the choke and check the oil telltale. Its bypass adjuster about halfway. Fully closed doesn't cut the supply, but P&M did suggest increasing the feed before going for a blind. Euphemisms for throttle to the stop have been around forever, it seems. Let the engine settle a moment. It's a warm September day and doesn't take long. Clutch in and ease the hand change lever down for first gear. Is hand change on a motorcycle difficult? No more so than a car, I'd say. Habitual drivers' automatic transmissions may be challenged by a 4 on the floor. On the road with me for more than 33 years, this Panther has proved itself super reliable. It's lively, with the sportier machine's appetite for fuel. About 50 mpg on average give and take going, which is twice as thirsty as the 250cc Red Panther. The sleek tank has its downside, and for convenience I'm letting it get low on fuel. A fill-up en route will cover me for the rest of the ride there and allow me to complete the 60-mile course, refueling for the home run. Approaching the town of Huntingdon, the engine stutters, and I reach down for the reserve tap. I use the left side because it can be operated without letting go of the throttle. It won't budge. I pull into a lay-by and get the spanners out. Always something of a worry applying extra leverage to a brass fitting. On a Banbury run years ago I witnessed the dilemma of a tap snapping off with a full tank of fuel above it. And I was in no position to assist, with my own tank and the can I carried both brimful. Eased gently back and forth with my King Dick adjustable, the tap gives in with good grace to provide fuel for another 5 or 10 miles. These toolbox covers were hand sewn from an old leather music case back in 1991, using impressions made by a kitchen fork to set the stitch spacing. A quick check to see that fuel is at the expected level and we're on the road again. I take the 1930 Panther on runs of all kinds, but days like this are special. A 1930s event with the Vintage and Classic Motorcycle Club's Anglian section. It demands a longer journey to the start, but what a buzz to ride only with motorcycles on the road when this Panther was in its prime. Days like this are so precious in the autumn. Morning sun and cloud may turn showery later, but we'll cross that puddle when we come to it. The town of Royston in Hertfordshire is negotiated at 30 mph in the third top gear. At very low revs for the laziest ride on level going. Out of town we enter a lattice of favourite side roads through the villages of North Essex, where a gentle 40 miles an hour in third gives engine and rider an easy run. I dropped a second for lively acceleration from the apex of the sharper bends. Rolling up at Arkston Village Hall for a welcome from old friends. The Anglian section, based in the Cambridge area, was my local meeting back in the 1980s. I sign on, get my route sheet, and a cup of tea and chat with fellow riders.
Good morning.
Morning.
You've had a ride already.
I have.
Well, that's commendable. Well, it's got a safe. Yeah, same. Gracious, pink Panther. Morning.
Morning, Trevor.
You've done a ride and a half. You're just getting here, haven't you?
About 60, I think.
60.
I think it's about 60 miles, yeah. According to the AA route finder thing. How are you doing?
You're here, aren't you?
Good, yes, I think that.
What do you want to do?
Yeah, beautiful morning for
Lovely
it.
morning,
Rain later, but what the heck.
Oh, this is the Peterborough before it gets here.
So I'll find it when I get home.
Yeah, for sure, I think.
Yeah.
That's the filler cap for the sump, is it on the side there?
Yes,
No. And the one down there, is it a breather, is it?
it's a dipstick.
Ah,
Yeah.
right.
Yeah.
Incredible, really. To think
Yes.
I suppose you give the old cam gear a good soaking on the way down, isn't it?
Yeah, it's very slow filler because of course there's so much in there. You're into the gears straight away.
Yeah. What's that, 36, 37?
30. 1930.
Oh, 30,
Yeah.
is it? Oh,
Yeah.
nice. Vintage one as well.
Yes. Yeah, the round.
Oh, lovely.
He's just taking the bowl off.
He had it running when I was up there.
Yeah, he's bloody in the front row here.
Oh, John,
A
all right.
sign on. Hello. Yes.
Yeah, do you like to sign
Yes,
on?
I will.
There we are.
Right, JJ, how you doing?
That's me. Yep.
I found your YouTube
Oh yeah.
videos and I watched them. They're pretty good.
Oh, thanks.
I like watching
We're
them.
we're amazed at the it's something like 2,000 subscribers now.
Yeah,
which is
yeah,
just
you do a very
surprising.
nice video.
Enjoy it. He's
oh,
got
good.
Panther.
I've got a little 250.
I've got a picture of that somewhere. Somebody sent me when I was
yeah, the blue
The-
one, yeah.
yeah.
One with the girder bolts on it, even though it's a 46.
Oh right, yes.
1946,
Yeah.
it's
So
still
just
got girders.
after. Yeah, that's it.
Yeah, I have to sort that out. It hasn't been out for a few years.
Right. Yeah.
We have to check a few things. I think it's getting a bit loose somewhere.
Oh right.
So,
I've got a new video I'm working on at the moment. I've just taken it a couple of weeks ago. I went up back to the factory, or the factory site at Cleckheaton
right.
with the red Panther,
yeah.
the little 250, which is very similar to yours.
That's
But
it, yeah.
mine is just pre-war, so virtually the same. Yeah.
The Arthur brothers from Essex section are here on 1939 Francis Barnett Cruiser 2-stroke of 250 cc's and a 350cc Douglas Twin from 1936. I love the unique sound of the Franny B, that massive nose casting, more echo chamber than collector box. An air leak on the Douglas was soon addressed. Riders of older machines are steeped in the knowledge that there are few problems which cannot be overcome at the roadside. Route sheet in the roller and the Panther fires and drowns. I'm getting the spanners out when I'm offered a push.
Best to take a plug out.
A bit too much advance on the first try, but a second effort clears out the tubes and we're off.
It's dripping a little bit. So.
Trouble with this hot weather, you have to tickle it really to get the fuel in.
It's had a good run this morning.
It's dripping
I
fuel, so
I stopped on the way down and filled the tank, and it was started just fine after that.
Do you want us to give you a push down the slope?
Oh,
don't want you to push your lever
you could
there.
try that. Yes,
And
yeah,
You
yeah.
might have to go in second gear.
Yeah, yeah.
And maybe let your decompressor go.
Yeah.
Just to get it turning.
Spinning, yeah, sure. Yeah, it's worth a
Well,
try.
you know, we don't want to start taking plugs out if we don't have to.
I'm not afraid to do that.
Yeah, so
Yeah, so fine. Push it back up here a bit and then.
go towards the yellow
come
part.
down here.
Well, no, we'll just push you down the slope that way, and then we get a second go that way.
Oh, right, okay, fine.
You are flooding, you know.
Yes. Yeah,
Yeah, you get yourself on it. No, you sit on it.
I can turn the fuel off, yeah. Do you want to get a bit more of a...
Gear,
Do
second
you want,
gear.
yeah, do you want to get a bit more run at it, or
That's
you've
all
got,
right, yeah,
you got
you
enough
got
here? All right.
You're in second, aren't you?
No, I will be. That's second. And decompress. Okay.
And your decompressor when
Yeah,
you...
that's gone. Yeah.
Okay, go on then. Go on then.
It was a bit.
Well, we will go that way.
Yeah.
I think it will go now.
The hill there.
Are you ready? Same again, because
Yep.
we were doing all right.
Yeah. Okay.
The sign here is obscured by a hedge, and I miss the turn. And the sweeper on a BSA sloper, now in front, is concerned that I'm not really on top of things.
You better follow me then, initially. I'm meant to be the tail end Charlie.
I don't need to follow you.
You don't know you're happy?
I was. No, I'm fine. I'll carry on. Yeah.
To prove his point, I fluff the next junction too. And then I'm into the groove and winding along roads once so familiar that we passed the entrance to a farm where I worked back in the early 1970s, before I had even discovered panthers. If you enjoy diving down rabbit holes, search Moat Farm Murder. Such a treat to ride these Essex and Hertfordshire lanes once more. The Cowie speedometer is accurate enough to rely on when seeking a turn with no signpost in X miles. But on these pretty ways it is easy to gaze at the scenery and forget. If I concentrate, I can run a pretty accurate mileage check inside my head. A T-junction like this will always catch your attention, but the turn which follows can easily be missed. See if you can anticipate the left turn in 0.6 of a mile. A glimpse of riders ahead. Catching up, I follow their gentle pace for a while, reassured that I'm on course, or at least in company with those as lost as myself. The flat crack of side valve exhausts is music to my ears. But after a while the pace proves uncomfortably slow for the sporty Panther. I take my chance to nip by. And then, fearful that I've missed a junction, I turn back. Proper hare and tortoise stuff. If I fitted a sidecar, I could enjoy the assistance of my navigator on vintage runs like this. Angie would have spotted a junction opposite a church. The next turn is right at a T, hard to miss. I pass the group again, and going for a blind, spot it rather late. The rear wheel, hopping as rigid frames will, squeals with alarm. I deliver myself a virtual slap on the wrist, roll the route to the next instruction, and settle down again. Cloud is building now, as the forecasters predicted. In Puckeridge, we trundle through drifts of gutter-bound cars, the town streets in stark contrast to thread-needle single tracks of the early route. Then the buildings thin, and we're back into the wild lands again. 2 directions ahead predict fords, one dry, one wet, and I approach warily. These can be deeper than expected, and the road deceptively slippery. For good measure, this one has a junction on it. Our lunch destination successfully achieved. The rising sun in the Hertfordshire village of Hall's Green, nothing to do with the singular home of Velocet, provides refreshments. I decide to miss the teas on offer back at Arkston and set a course for home, missing most of the rain. Another 153 miles on the Panther's clock. If I didn't enjoy the challenge of running old machines, with all the small tasks implied, I'd ride a modern motorcycle and have it serviced by the dealer. With my chosen hobby comes the responsibility for tackling minor problems as they present themselves, or accepting with equanimity any disasters which result from my neglect. Time has refined the process. A notebook dedicated to each machine with reminders added at the end of a day's ride. Incidentally, if my mechanic's background muttering disturbs you, just be thankful he's not singing. The 1930 Panther has collected a note on two items, that sticky reserve tap and damage to the magneto control cable's outer sleeve at the lever, which has also shown a tendency to self-adjust in flight. I take this opportunity to clean it and its flat spring washer and remove the cable at the magneto. These lever-operated fuel taps prevent removal of the tank. I siphon fuel from the filler side, and with that tap removed, the other just wangles past the frame bracket. Disconnect the Cowie speedometer's cable from the gearbox, remove the tank and withdraw the instrument, which shares a tank bolt. The offending tap unscrews. A shallow taper seals tap and body, a very sticky taper in this case. Movement is restricted to a quarter turn by a brass plate, with a spring, a shouldered washer, and a split pin to keep the tapers in contact. Supported in the part-open vise, a light tap on the end frees it. I dismantle, lap mating faces together with polish, and reassemble with a spot of oil, using a spanner to compress the spring before adding its split pin. Back at the magneto control cable, I draw the ferrule clear and apply careful surgery to the outer with a junior hacksaw. Slipped back, the ferrule is secured with a couple of bops from the point of a scriber. I reduce the inner wire by a similar amount, using my monster electric iron, because even a tiny gas flame can overheat the spring wire, until its bad temper induces a classic failure to proceed. It's worth keeping an eye on cable ends for fraying. This one on a Norton clutch was caught in the nick of time, when a friend broke his and jogged my memory. Melt the solder, tap the nipple clear, and trim back. Solder is a plug here, not an adhesive, so open the strands into the nipple recess before flowing in solder. With the shortened inner clamped in the vise, I use side cutters to snug up the nipple while remelting the solder. A check to make sure that it still fits in the lever recess, and I refresh it with my pressure cable oiler. While the Panther is on the bench, I remove the bar end brake lever and dismantle the throttle to grease its mechanism. The straight pull twist grip has a spiral inside, which locates on the cable end fitting and runs along a recess in the inner sleeve, a common design of this period. Small screws are subject to vibration. A spot of thread lock may just be the saving of them. And take care not to lose these tiny dismantled parts. In the unlikely event that they are dropped, remember to search where you know they aren't. And be sure to celebrate their return with appropriate enthusiasm. Back together and with fuel in the tank, the Panther delivers some lively kickbacks. And when it finally runs, my error is revealed. Screwed in the cable adjuster at the carburettor top to ease removal, and was a little too generous when I took out the slack on reassembly. A few downward turns restores free play, and I give the mixture screw a tweak for an acceptable tick over from a rather tired carburettor. I'm about to embark on a proving run with the 500 Panther when Angie pops into the workshop to deliver a message. Yesterday, driving her and two friends to an open garden event, we got lost. Let's just say that it wasn't through lack of instruction.
Heard an engine.
Did, yes.
Joan Sykes says she hopes you've recovered from 3 women and 3 sat-navs.